This is Mike Lindell. If you're unfamiliar, he's a conspiracy theorist. He's one of Trump's close friends, and he doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. So Trump doesn't seem to trust him with any important information. Well, he's made a living out of denying the election results of the 2020 election. Even strong-armed his way into getting an election crimes unit. Even strong-armed his way into getting an election crimes unit with the RNC. It's absolutely absurd, dude. So anyways, yeah, let's listen to Mike Lindell on this TV show called Flashpoint. This is part 2. If you haven't seen the other, don't sweat it. This stands independently. The rest, I'll provide context if it's missing. But let's listen to Lindell absolutely disintegrate about election crimes, quote unquote, and stuff like that. All right, let's give it a listen. Oh, and while we listen, I'm going to play Breath of the Wild 2 in the background, Tears of the Kingdom. It shouldn't bother you too much if you haven't seen it before. I'm not going to, point out spoilers for you or anything like that, so I'm just island hopping right now, just moving from island to island. So anyway, all right, let's listen.
Now what do we do? And it woke up this country, and we are in the greatest revival in history.
That's right. Do you believe that or not?
Saying we're in a great revival in this country is a big deal because it's like a biblical thing. Quick interjection. I won't take long. I just wanted to tell you guys, YouTube's algorithm operates off of a few factors. Watch time, whether or not you subscribe, and whether or not you like something. So if you really want to help my channel, I would appreciate it if you guys watch the video to the end. If you don't watch it to the end, just watch a little bit longer than you would have otherwise. I would appreciate that very much. All right, let's get back to the video.
How about over here? Do y'all believe that? Are you on with this?
Do y'all believe that?
All right, over here on the right, what do y'all think?
What do y'all think? I mean, they're doing this on purpose, right? They're trying to sound more relatable to Hicks. I'll say it, to Hicks, right? They're trying to sound more relatable to Hicks, aren't they?
Okay. All right. This is audience participation class. We talk, you participate. Amen? All right. Some of y'all went to that church that didn't do anything. Listen, somebody said to me not long ago, well, what are your pronouns? I said, it's very simple. They lied.
Okay, that's not how pronouns work. Those aren't even pronouns. Have you been to school before?
Oh, yeah, you're going to have fun for the next 2 days. I want to give a special welcome to all of those watching from the top of the world to the bottom, all the way around the middle on the Victory Channel and every available voice. Thank you for joining us. Give them a hand, all those watching via television. Amen. All right.
Again, this is on the Victory Channel, owned and operated by Kenneth Copeland. So if you hear reference to it, that's what they're talking about. It's insane, dude. Seriously. Absolutely insane.
Right. Well, today is Thursday, and today was the day, which I didn't know this when we booked this meeting. That's why it's so providential that we're here in Nashville. This is the day Title 42 ended.
If you don't know what Title 42 is, this is all that MAGA world is talking about right now, and trust me, these people are MAGA world for all intents and purposes. Title 42 is this COVID-era policy put into place by Donald Trump that basically said, if somebody is seeking asylum, here's the law right now, before Title 42. If somebody is seeking asylum, they come from a war-torn area, and they try to make it to, a UN refugee center to request asylum from the UN, then they have to consider their application or whatever. And there is a UN refugee center in Texas right over the border. Well, Title 42 basically said COVID is going on, so I don't care if you're a refugee or not, you're not going to be allowed to make it to the refugee center. We're going to turn you away, whether you like it or not. That was what Title 42 did. It was immoral and arguably illegal. I would say it was illegal. But, Trump administration didn't care, so here we sit. Title 42 expired not too long ago, and people are freaking out and saying that, there are immigrants all over the place that are going to take over, and they're coming for your children and all this other garbage, right? Naturally. Well, Title 42 actually did come to an end. I don't know if it was ended by the time this TV show came out or not, but these people, the Trump supporters were expecting this massive rush of immigrants to come over the border and all this other garbage. Never happened. Never happened. People were freaked out over nothing. It was all garbage. It was all garbage all along. So, anyways, that's the Title 42 situation that they're talking about. It's just another one of those fear-mongering tactics that they have to try to freak people out, do everything they can to make you feel like, you're gonna lose everything in an instant. It's just absurd, man. Absolutely absurd and embarrassing. So, anyways, yeah. Let's keep listening to these people talk about Title 42 like it's the end of the world.
At midnight tonight, what's going to happen? Watch.
Absolutely nothing happened. They claimed that there was this big flood of immigrants coming over the border. First of all, they're not immigrants. They were refugees. There's a distinct difference. In one group, these people have been subjected to war-torn areas. And in another group, they're just people trying to find a better life. But okay, they are refugees, not immigrants. And it's truly disgusting that they would twist it around to be something other than what it is.
Watch the video.
Yesterday, President Biden said that the border is going to be chaotic for a while when Title 42 ends.
That never happened. Never happened. I don't know if Biden said that or not. I wouldn't be surprised if he said that. But either way, it didn't happen. It was a complete fabrication. This was just another way of fear-mongering to the people around them and making them think that they are under invasion by others. Just disgusting on every level. Simply disgusting on every level. To hate people the way that they do is grotesque.
How do you think he defines for a while?
For the rest of his tenure as president of the United States is the reality. But Dana, think about the contrast of what the president just said and what you've seen Secretary Mayorkas say when he's repeatedly said that the border is not open, the border is closed. And it's nothing but a lie. The fact of the matter is...
the border is closed. The border is not open.
The border has been open under the Biden administration, is entice people to come here illegally, and that process will continue unless and until, as Mike Banks said, the federal government will start to enforce Title VIII of the United States laws that allows the United States to return back to the country of origin those who are coming across the...
Here's the thing. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Immigration is phenomenally good for the United States. Why the hell are we not promoting immigration? Seriously? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever for us to not promote immigration like that. You know who else didn't like immigration back in the day? The KKK. They didn't like immigration either. Wonder why. A lot of the policies that are promoted by, Republicans, modern day Republicans, are deeply racist, have deeply racist undertones, and they may not even realize, they may not even understand fully why they're racist or what's racist about them or whatever. They may not even know, honestly. It's just like disgusting, the hatred that these people have for immigrants, for people who are just trying to make a better life for themselves. And for the record, it's not even immigrants that we're talking about. It's refugees. It's people from war-torn areas who have nowhere else to go, who are trapped, who are stuck, who have no other choices in life. These people are disgusting, dude. Imagine your cousin is in that situation. Imagine with me for just a moment, okay? War-torn area. You guys have nothing, up to and including food. You have no food. Broke as shit. But you have saved for 2 years and come up with $150. You have $150 after saving all of that time. Now, that $150 can be used to pay for somebody to smuggle them into the United States, to give them a better life, or it can be used to get yourself a little bit of food. Which one are you going to use? Which one are you going to do? It seems obvious to me that anybody with a conscience is going to try to save their little cousin. They're going to try to save their lives, to give them a better life. And these people, you know, what's his name here? No, Ron DeSantis, but Greg Abbott, sitting here fear-mongering about how evil these people are, who literally have nothing, not a single thing to their name, fear-mongering about them, using the weakest in society to score political points. Does it get lower than that? It's like there's a race to the bottom right now. Turn into the biggest scumbag alive. That's like the Republican way right now. And it's just disgusting. It is straight up disgusting. I cannot wait to see the day when these people are voted out. Abbott, DeSantis, Trump, I mean, he's been voted out, but I would love to see his relevance fall. That would be fantastic. I mean, I'm just truly, honestly sick of all of the fucked up, whacked out shit that these people have said. Honestly. Disgusting. Truly disgusting. Anyway, let's keep listening to what these people have to say here.
The border illegally.
All right. So you hear that? Well, listen, if you've been watching Flashpoint, you know that we're also a part of the Victory Channel, and we do news twice a day on Victory News. How many of you watch Victory News? Yep. We are not ad-supported. Pfizer doesn't give us a dime. Yeah, thank God, too. That's right. All right, but right now, let's go live to the border with our very own Fior Hernandez. Fior, are you there? Hello, Fior.
I'm here, Gene. So glad to be with you.
Yes.
Hi,
Okay, they've got some woman at the border. Awesome. Okay?
Gene. So glad to be with you tonight.
Yeah, give Fior a hand. Yeah.
God bless you all.
All right, Fior, tell us what's going on. Help us understand what's happening here at the
Look, she's got a victory hat, like the Victory Network or whatever. Just disgusting, dude. So they've got some person's going to tell us what's happening at the border. Nothing's happening at the border, as a matter of fact. Everything that's happening at the border right now is exactly what was happening at the border under Trump. Fundamentally, nothing has changed. But these people are going to propagandize and lie and twist things around and make it out to be something other than what it is. Disgusting. Yeah, that bird contraption kind of fell apart on me. So I'm going to try to build another bird contraption, this time putting more fans on, and I'm going to put more batteries on too. I honestly don't need that much. It was just the balloons started falling apart on me was the problem with that one. So I'm going to put a couple of rockets on the next one, control stick. I'm going to put some fans on each also so I can control it. I can't take all of that out here, damn it. All right. So I need a couple of balloons, a couple of rockets, some fans. A stabilizer might actually be a good thing, too. Hell, I haven't even seen a sled yet. Let me pull a sled out. Just out of curiosity. I want to see what it looks like. How big is the sled? Is the sled the kind of thing that I could use instead of the bird? Probably not, right? If I attached a balloon to each corner or each side, attach a balloon like right here, or I attach fans on each corner maybe. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to try using the sled instead. We'll see how it goes. I just need to get up a little bit. I don't need to go very high. All right, let's keep listening here. So they're at the border, and they're about to tell us all the horrific, terrible things that are happening at the border right now. Just awful, just disgusting.
Sure, Gene. Well, I'm in El Paso, and as you know, this is a high traffic area and has been for some time. Where I am standing right now is called the Sunland Park area, actually also called Cartel Land, and of course one that you and the viewers also may know is a Got-Away Land, and that one speaks for itself. Those are the crossers, illegal crossers that want to get away. They do not want to file for a political asylum. They want to go undetected. And well,
okay, she has no idea what she's talking about. She doesn't know. If people are there, more than likely, they are there to file for political asylum. And according to the law, international law, they are legally required to be allowed the option of filing for political asylum. They are legally required to be able to do that. But of course, that's not the top of their mind. What they really care about is getting those dirty immigrants out of the country, right? That's what really matters. Simply disgusting.
We've been attending press conferences and we've been speaking to different people, and according to city officials in a press conference yesterday, upwards of 6,500 are currently in CBP custody, and the mayor here says, Oscar Leeser says that about 10,000 are expected to cross from Ciudad Juarez and Mexico either before midnight, at midnight, or tomorrow. Officials here claim to have everything under control, Gene, but critics of the Biden administration, locals, and even migrants we've spoken to say that remains to be seen.
I bet, yeah. Everybody you've talked to doesn't believe Biden. Yeah, that's a super believable source you've cited for us. Just everybody I've talked to, yeah. That source is so believable. Every time you cite it, I automatically believe without question. Everybody I've talked to, absolutely.
Ready. The welcoming center's ready. Everything's ready. We just don't have that demand yet.
El Paso Deputy City Manager Mario D'Agostino says the city does not have a demand to open additional shelters yet because they say the number of asylum seekers entering in has decreased.
We know there's 7,000.
Well, how about that? That's kind of interesting, isn't it? The number of asylum seekers has decreased. And what do they say about that? It's decreased. Fascinating. What do they say? There's some other explanation for it other than Biden is handling the border. Biden is doing a better job at keeping immigrants from experiencing the American dream, the thing that this country was built upon. Yeah, totally. That makes sense.
In custody with CBP right now.
City Mayor Oscar Leeser says that they've been processing the migrants camping out on the streets, releasing them with their alien registration numbers to their final destination via bus or plane at the migrants' own expense. But the number of illegal immigrants officials say is expected to cross by midnight seems to keep changing.
I keep talking about the unknown, and we are preparing for the unknown because we don't know who's coming, whether it's families, whether it's single adults.
Perhaps the truest statement, because after that press conference, we encountered a group of about 10 Colombian natives walking toward Gate 40 along the fence wall.
Again, these people are doing absolutely nothing wrong. They are perfectly within their legal international rights to walk over the border and seek asylum in the United States. There is nothing against the law about what they're doing. Nothing against the law about it. But these people are going to fearmonger, as usual, to try to make people fear everything that happens, to try to make people fear, migrants and what they have to offer and what they want and what they're going to do and the whole 9 yards. It's absurd and it's embarrassing and it's sad.
A Border Patrol vehicle behind them. And once we got a bird's eye view over that area, a massive crowd was revealed. City shelters reportedly overrun, and even this U.S. Customs and Border Protection facility between El Paso and Doña Ana County, New Mexico, at capacity, and apparently still building. Mayor Leeser says his...
At capacity, wow. FYI, what I'm doing here on Breath of the Wild, basically I've built a system. So I have a battery system, right? And when I run out of battery charge, as you can see it's along the bottom there, when I run out of battery charge, everything just turns off. So what I've done is I've created a couple of balloons, one on each corner. I've put some wood in them and I lit them on fire. And that keeps me afloat and even gives me a little more lift. And the fans on each side, when they do operate, give me the ability to kind of control the direction that I want to go. So I'm using the balloons mostly for lift, and I'm using... Oopsie, but when they blink like that, it means that they're about to give out on me. That's okay. I made it to the island that I was really shooting for. It means they're going to disappear, unfortunately. And I have to bail. Yep, now I have to bail. Anyway, the point is, it allows me to get a little bit of lift, which is good. That's what I was shooting for. And it also allows me to, kind of control things as time goes on. So I don't know if you guys are like into Breath of the Wild. My numbers are a little bit lower than usual. I'm assuming it's because nobody wants Breath of the Wild 2 spoiled for them. That totally makes sense and is an acceptable reason to not watch. So anyways, let's keep listening to these nutter butters spread their nutter buttery all over everything.
The city is not dealing with a crisis because they are managing the situation, and that the primary concern is the safety of El Paso residents.
What do you mean you've got everything under control? It seems pretty out of control to the majority of Americans.
It really is. And let me break down those numbers because you have so many different categories, and that's why there's mass confusion. So you have the apprehensions, that's the way CBP calls them, but it's not really an apprehension. These are people that are turning themselves in, plus the ones that they do.
Right, so refugees are legally required to turn themselves in. That's part of the deal. According to UN law, if you're a refugee from like a war-torn area or something, you legally must turn yourself into the nearest UN center. I forget what it's called now. And when you do that, you will be evaluated for refugee status. Perfectly allowed. Nothing wrong with, with any of that. Nothing. And that's what he's describing right now.
Do apprehend on their own outside and in between the runners, and they bundle all those in. And then you have the gotaways, and there's different categories of gotaways. There are gotaways that the government, the Border Patrol actually saw. We stand in one of those areas where they're coming in here. They're not wanting to turn themselves in. They don't want to get fingerprinted. They don't want to be known. Why? Because they have cartel affiliations. They're gang members.
Okay, there's absolutely no reason to believe any of that, but all right.
Prior deports and criminal histories.
And precisely just before 8 a.m. this morning, a dozen illegal crossers apprehended by Border Patrol assisted by National Guardsmen.
Every border crosser is not illegal by default. It is legal in some cases for people to cross the border. For example, past the guard fence. For example, asylum seekers. That's perfectly legal. Nothing against the law about that. But they're going to ignore that nuance. Of course. Why would they pay any attention to it?
Dozen illegal crossers apprehended by Border Patrol assisted by National Guardsmen.
Everything else is being accommodated for the illegal aliens except our Constitution and except
illegal aliens, he says.
Except our sovereignty. And that's the big picture here about what's happening. We are going to send people back. We are going to arrest people. And you're going to see on a lot of the mainstream media, you're going to see them repatriating. Oh, here's an airplane full of people from Guatemala and Central America.
By the way, this is where I get new stuff. Rockets, birds, things like that. That's where they come from. I drop these little charges in that I get from destroying enemies, and they give me this extra stuff. So, yeah.
America, we're doing it, and they're going to send back 2,000 people, and that's all you're going to see. You see it was successful, but they're not going to tell you is that 900,000 were let in.
Okay, I don't know what point he was getting at.
Wow.
And how that will begin to happen, will begin to unfold in the coming days, Gene. We are hearing it could be through the softening of the so-called humanitarian parole process or anything else that the current...
Wow, softening of the humanitarian parole process. What a bunch of monsters, huh? To soften the humanitarian patrol process. Can you believe somebody would do something like that? Make it easier on the people around them. Soften the humanitarian crisis. Wow. Just scumbags to do something like that, huh? Soften the humanitarian crisis.
Current administration may present. But Gene, one thing that I know you'll find interesting is that, you can look around, look behind me, considering the location where I am standing right now in Victory News Cruise is, and Flashpoint Army, where is the mainstream media? Nowhere around here.
That's because this is a fabricated problem. This doesn't exist. And she knows that, and she's taken part in fabricating this issue. So the mainstream media isn't here because nobody really cares. This is a made-up problem that doesn't exist. Simple as that.
Back to you, Gene.
No, nobody here. Fior, before you go, can we get Fior back real quick? Fior, I want to ask you one question. I heard a number,
sure,
and I want to understand if this is really real. How many people have come across the border, whether they were let in or got away? What's the number since Joe Biden took office?
Well, we know that at least in Victory News.
Okay, why is he asking her? These are objectively knowable answers, and she certainly doesn't know those answers.
We deal with the facts, and we look for the truth, Gene, as you know. And I know that at Victory News, we've been staying with the consensus that it's 6.5 million under the Biden administration since he took office, and that does
She has no idea what she's talking about.
Include gotaways. But one thing that I have been mentioning over and over again during my time here is that...
Look, you know where the vast majority of immigrants come from? Do you know where the vast majority come from? It's almost entirely people who come from other countries, like, say, Germany, for example, and overstay their visas. These are people that came here legally and decided to stay. That's where most of these people come from. It's not people walking over the border the way they're portraying. Just nonsense.
A lot of these numbers keep fluctuating, they keep changing, and in many ways creating some confusion. I think there's a lack of transparency, Gene.
Yeah, amen. Give Fior Hernandez, thank you, Fior, a big hand. Thank you. Hang on, before you go, Fior, I'm sorry, guys, I want to go. Fior, one more thing. I know I keep saying one more thing.
Sure.
I can do that, it's okay. Fior, everybody sees you on the news every week, and you're
Dude, I have no idea who this woman is.
You're doing the news, and you're a great reporter in everything that you've done.
She's not a reporter. This is one of the big problems. These people like to confuse the word reporter with political commentator. This person seems like a political commentator. If the things that they say are rife with bias and have little fact involved in the quote-unquote reporting, they're not a reporter, they are a political commentator. There is a difference.
Do you love Jesus?
I absolutely, unequivocally, undoubtedly so, am in love with Jesus.
Come on!
Whoa, she took it an extra level. In love with? Are you at that point with the guy right now? Like, you realize that this could totally ruin a relationship if he doesn't feel the same way, right?
There it is. Give her a hand, y'all.
Hallelujah.
Dude, can you believe that she just came out and said it, that she's in love with the guy without, like, talking to him about it first? That's like rule number 1, bro. If you're in a relationship with somebody, don't say you're in love with them brazenly and without discussing it first. Jeez.
That's the kind of news we need in America. Ugh. So when they say there's no mainstream media, guess what? This is us. This is you. This is what we're committed to do.
Okay, they're not media. They want people to think that they're media. They're not. These people are political commentators at best. No different than me, honestly. I'm also a political commentator, not a media source.
Every week is to bring you the truth. And sometimes it's not easy. Like what Fiora was saying, sometimes it's hard to nail down the facts, because it's like nailing down Jell-O because of what people are saying. One group says this, one group says that, and you don't know which one to report. We do our best to bring you the facts on Flashpoint Victory News.
They don't bring facts to anything. Completely made up.
Thank you for watching. Thank you, Fiora. Thank you, Fiora, for that. All right. I want to play this for you. Recently, President Trump had something to say about the border. Watch.
With today's termination of the final remnants of Title 42, Joe Biden has officially abolished what remained of America's borders and turned the United States into a dumping ground for illegal aliens from all over the world. We've become a third world nation. At this very moment, illegal aliens are lined up by the tens of thousands, ready.
This is just completely made up. There was speculation that it's possible that up to maybe 200,000 people would be lined up along the border to get through, because asylum seekers were turned away if caught, which, by the way, is against international law. They're supposed to be afforded the opportunity to show up at an asylum center to apply for asylum. They're supposed to be afforded that opportunity. They were not. Wait, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going right now. Oh, I see. It's down here. Okay. And there should be a boss. There is. There's a boss here. Fantastic. Okay. So this Title 42 thing removed people who were asking, or who were trying to make it over the border so that they could make it to like an asylum seeking location or whatever, right? And that's technically illegal. Like, that law that Trump passed is illegal in an international court. But did he care? Of course he didn't. All he cared about was signaling to his base that he hates immigrants. Simply disgusting, man. Simply disgusting.
To break into our country, knowing that even if they are caught, Joe Biden will order them immediately released into American communities. And many of these people are very...
Like, this is all completely made up. Joe Biden isn't ordering anybody into American communities or any of that other garbage.
Very dangerous. Under Biden, our border is gone, our sovereignty is gone, our national security is gone, and we are quickly becoming that third world nation that I've been talking about for so long. It's happening to us, if you can believe that.
No, I can't believe that, because it's made up.
The United States of America is now a third world nation.
But we're not going to let it be that, are we? Would you please welcome back to the platform Rick Green?
If you don't know Rick Green, I talked about him in the last one, but Rick Green's basically a, what would you call it? Like, he's the leader of Patriot Academy. He's an extremist. He's been very influential in instituting Christian nationalism in the state. He's been extremely influential in instituting that. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So, anyways.
Have a seat, Rick. I wanted to let's break this down a little further. We heard Fior live from the border and what all she had to say, what's going on. And a lot of it is there is absolutely no media there to cover what we're seeing. So, Rick, we have Title 8 out there. Can you explain what Title 8 really is?
Let me start with two quick things. First of all, how about the joy on Fior's face when you asked that question?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was just, that tells you right there. And she is amazing, does an amazing job.
I guess they're talking about the reporter. She was like overjoyed that they were removing Title 8. Just disgusting, dude. Disgusting on every level.
Greg and Tim are okay. Gene's okay. Fior's awesome. Anyway, so that was one. Two is, I just want to reiterate, because when we talk about this stuff, sometimes you get down. When you watch these images, you get down. Just realize everything Gene's talking about tonight, everything the other guys, everybody's going to talk about, there is a biblical solution to turn this thing around. Do not.
Again, he's trying to blur the line between church and state to the best of his ability. Everything he can do.
That without question, it's just like the end of Deuteronomy. We have blessings or curses right in front of us. We have to choose which we want based on the actions and what we do in our country. So all the bad is happening because of bad policies. And a president that literally wanted this to happen, invited all of this. Just like President Trump was saying, they created this problem. He was solving the problem. Even in Arizona, we had the containers that were being put in to build the wall. The Biden administration made them take that down. All of the Trump policies from remaining in Mexico to having to seek asylum, which is finally going back in. Apparently, they're finally getting desperate. But I just want to make sure we all realize.
Dude, everything that he says is a little dig. Everything he says is propaganda in some way. And if there's something you don't fully understand about what he said, you can rest assured it's propaganda. In what way? I don't know. It's hard to tell. But rest assured it's propaganda for sure.
None of this is by accident. It's by design. There are policies that produce chaos and mayhem, and there are policies that produce peace and prosperity. And we have unfortunately chosen the wrong policies as a nation, but we can turn that around. And last thing is, Noah Webster made it very clear that all the miseries that you experience in a culture from bad things is the direct result of neglecting or despising the biblical precepts. So if we get back to the biblical precepts, we can get rid of the bad stuff and get back to the good stuff. I'm sorry for that long lead in there. Yeah.
All right. So by a show of hands, how many of you listened to what I said and Rick said, and you've downloaded or you've bought Biblical Civics course? Look at that, Rick.
Again, Biblical Civics is his civics thing, like his it's not even civics. It's just like his training course, if you can even call it that. I mean, I don't feel I'm comfortable calling it like a civics class of any sort. It's just his seminar series. Yeah, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. Seminar series. Disgusting.
Look at that. Oh, you guys are in for a treat tomorrow, because one of our super coaches, Scarlett Lanny, who's here tonight out at the booth, she's going to be here to train you tomorrow and get you ready to take action. But if you haven't yet gone there, it's not too late. You can go tonight. You can go tomorrow. Get set up. You can make a $1 donation if you want and get the full course. But it's full of answers and action steps. But it's just simply saying
it's full of propaganda and nothing else. It is only propaganda. That's what it is all about. That's what it's always been about. Propaganda.
Citizens of the United States. So how does that work? What's the Constitution? What's my role under the Constitution? And then we're biblical citizens. How do we do this biblically? So you know me, I'm a country boy. I keep it pretty simple.
Ugh, there's him trying to appeal to the Larry the Cable Guy people. He's doing everything he can to sound like an everyman, just like a country yokel, a normal guy. He's just like you, It's embarrassing, dude. Honestly, it's embarrassing.
We just want to know how to do this in a way that will honor God and save freedom for our children and grandchildren.
Amen. And listen, after last year's, all of our events, something had to change, and we started talking about we need to be able to really educate people. We got to educate pastors. We got to educate ministers and leaders.
Again, their whole goal at Patriot Academy, quote unquote, is to educate isn't even the right word, but to indoctrinate pastors and explain to them what they have to do to indoctrinate everybody else around that. It's like truly disgusting stuff, truly depraved levels of shit, honestly. It's really, really disgusting.
And business, and I'm like, where do we start? And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Let me call Rick, see what he's got. And so we teamed together, and in a phone call, it was all done. You see, this is what God does by bringing us together. You know, bringing the streams of ministry together doesn't always look like a bunch of preachers in the same room, okay? It's when we work together, we understand. I didn't want to have to go do all that Rick has done. But what he's done is laid it out so magnificently, and it's not boring. And I hate boring.
Me too.
I slept during civics, and back when there was a civics class in high school.
So they're trying to teach civics, I guess, and they're trying to do it in a way that's interesting. And they're trying to convert people to do exactly what they want them to do, to vote the way they want them to vote and everything. Just disgusting on every level, man, honestly. Just disgusting.
The olden days.
The olden
days.
Yeah, but I identify as 21.
Yeah,
so it's okay.
God, an anti-trans joke, of course.
I identify as a lot taller and a lot better hair.
Yeah.
So,
they always have to make these terrible, stupid anti-trans jokes, don't they? Every single time. Like, come on, people, please. Make something better than the same damn joke over and over again. I'm begging you.
But I do want to say, you know, because you said Rick's done this. Listen, it's David Barton, it's Tim Barton, it's Kirk.
Oh, God. David Barton and Tim Barton are absolutely terrible in every way. And why did that thing just fly away like that? Why did that happen? Did that construct have the ability to make that thing fly away like that? I didn't know that. That's really concerning.
Cameron, it's all of these folks that are teaching in that class that makes it fun. It makes it entertaining and empowering. And the Flashpoint Army has been deployed all over the nation. I think, Gene, we're right at about 3,000 Constitution coaches teaching biblical civics that are from the Flashpoint Army specifically. Yeah. That's encouraging, man.
That's right, it is. Yeah, so thank you. So tomorrow you're in for a treat when we get to the Flash Talks. And those of you on television, well, you missed it. All right, so let's talk about, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were down there south of Fredericksburg in Comfort, Texas, in your new facility. I want the people to understand what's going to happen there.
Yeah, we believed, and I think we're already seeing it play out, that we needed to start picking up the pieces, the rubble. I mean, a lot of people look at what's happening in America and they've given up. Thankfully, Flashpoint has not. I mean, just look at this crowd. You can feel the energy in here. Y'all haven't given up. You're still in the fight. So you're our kind of people.
That's right.
But we felt like we needed a physical place to bring people together, let them come in and study the Constitution in a mock-up of Independence Hall, take a handgun defense class. I mean, look, there's crazy stuff going on.
Handgun defense class.
Out there, and biblically we have a responsibility to be prepared. Proverbs 27:12 says, "The wise person foresees danger and takes precaution. The simpleton or the fool walks blindly on and suffers the consequences." I'm a big advocate of families learning how to defend themselves and getting trained. Don't just get a license to carry, get trained. So we do that on our campus. But we want to raise up a remnant of young people that are going to be leaders of the next generation. So we're going
The word remnant is very intentional there. It's a word that's used in the Bible to refer to a group of people that remained loyal to God after everybody else gave up on him, basically. So they believe themselves to be like the remnant or whatever.
We're going to have them there on our campus for 1 year, getting really grounded in constitutional education, biblical worldview, leadership skills, life skills, 18 to 25-year-olds. That's a 1-year program for the kiddos. But then also, they're not kids anymore. I'm getting old. 18 sounds like a kid. Anyway, but also for us as families and as adults to be able to come in for 1 week. Gene, we want people to come in and literally on our house floor get to be a legislator for a couple of days, because I think you will do a better job of lobbying your legislator on pro-family issues if you've gone through that experience of how hard it is to get a bill out of committee, to get it on the floor, to debate and win. So we're going to train you on all of those things: Constitution education, be a legislator for a couple of days, all those things that you need to then go back to your community. So come to Fredericksburg and enjoy a week with us, but then go back to your community and be the catalyst for a restoration of biblical values and constitutional principles.
Amen. It's good. Excellent. Excellent.
Not excellent. Like deeply disturbing on every level. The things that he's described and espoused. The things that he intends to do.
All right. Somewhere they said I had to do this. So would you please welcome back Lance Wallnau?
Oh, God. Now, I've talked about this guy before. Let me just give a little bit of a kind of an intro to him or a lead up to who this guy is. He is effectively somebody he's a Russian stooge, works for the Russian government, even had his, his bank account taken over recently, shut down because of something or other. I don't want to speculate because, that could lead to lawsuits or real problems, but he's terrible. He is a Russian stooge for all intents and purposes. He is absolutely awful. So let's listen to this guy propagandize on behalf of Russia.
This is a big platform, Gene.
I know, it's a huge stage.
I mean,
Looks like you need a skateboard or something.
why don't you put us behind the flag here or something?
Yeah, really. I just want y'all to know, and I thought about this when Lance came out earlier. Lance was #1 guest of the very first program we did on Flashpoint. He was the only guest. And I was such a big man of faith, I only did it on Facebook.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? You do what you can. I want to get into independent media and political commentary, so you know where I start? I start on YouTube. Wherever I can start, I'll start there. There's nothing shameful about just doing your show on Facebook. Nothing.
Even though we had the ability to go live on the network. So we did that on Facebook because I knew Lance was never without something to say, and if I ran out, he would always have something to come. And Lance, and I mean that as a compliment, thank you for all you've done for Flashpoint and being a part.
What he really means is thank you for being an agent of the Russian government and contributing to everything that I've said on air.
Thank you, Gene.
That was actually a compliment. I complimented Lance.
Thank you, Gene.
Wait, if we're going to go so far out of character as to compliment Lance, then...
Dude, these people are so cringy.
If I could say, by the way, your teaching for 20 years on the Seven Mountains is, I think, right now more timely than ever before. I learned so much from you over...
Okay, if you don't know what the Seven Mountains are, Seven Mountains dominionism, it's the idea that basically Jesus won't come back until you take over the United States in his name. Take over the political system. So the Son of Man was supposed to be, or was believed to be, Jesus originally. And the Son of Man, specifically according to like the, the prophecies in the book of Ezekiel and Jeremiah and all these other places, the Son of Man, specifically as described, it says the Son of Man will... You know what? I wonder if I drop, like, a control stick. Do I even have a control stick? I think I'm out of control sticks. I have to come back for them. Never mind. The Son of Man, when he comes to the world, the Son of Man will, bring about Armageddon and force people to... Oh, shit. Does this spring really have to be activated? Interesting. If this spring is, like, attached to the contraption, then it has to be activated. I did not know that. Well, that's really interesting. Well, anyways, by the time the Son of Man comes along, this prophet, this supposed prophet, by the time he comes along, he is going to take political control over the legal system that exists currently in its current form. He's going to take political control over it, and he's going to bring about Armageddon. He's going to spark Armageddon into being. That's the idea, the belief, right? Well, Seven Mountains Dominionists believe that for the end to come, they have to take over the United States. It's a prerequisite. They must take over the United States, or Jesus will not come back. Or the end will not come. That's the belief system. So Seven Mountains Dominionists are doing everything that they possibly can to try to take over the United States. They're doing everything they can to attempt to take control of the U.S. government, of the legal system in the U.S. for Jesus. That's the idea. And it is disturbing on every level, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there.
Over the years, I teach what you teach at Patriot Academy because...
Okay, so I found the island that I want to hit. It is way, way, way up there. So, yeah, it's that middle one there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this again. Do I have enough balloons for it? I don't have enough balloons for it, so I'm going to save. I do have enough, like, Zonai charges, so I'm going to, like, run around, get balloons, get batteries, things like that, and then I'll come back. Because you can hit various different dispensers for this stuff. I don't need any fans for this one. I just need lots and lots of balloons and batteries, that's all. And maybe even a spring, if possible. Just looking for a dispenser that has a single balloon. I'm not seeing a good dispenser here. I mean, there's a dispenser that has... Here! Okay, this one will do. All right, let's keep listening here.
Learned so much from you over the years. I teach what you teach at Patriot Academy because you taught it first. And so God bless you. It's not just the Flashpoint Army that you're teaching. It's the whole nation. We love you, man. That's it. That's all the nice stuff we're saying about Lance. That ought to do us for a month or two.
I just want to point out that Gene will start to talk like me within about 2 minutes of hearing me talk. Suddenly,
I don't know why you're saying that.
I don't is this an inside joke? What? I don't understand what they're getting at here.
Exactly what will happen.
You got to get the hands in there. I don't know.
But the Flashpoint, from the beginning, I felt that there was, it was just the timing of it, that we were coming along looking for something in media that was going to capture for the Christian world. I mean, I'd listened to Rush, just like I'd listened to...
God, Rush Limbaugh, he is absolutely terrible in every way. Rush Limbaugh did more damage to the United States than maybe any other human being. And I'm not forgetting the guy that added lead to gasoline. He's still on the list, okay? That's how harmful I believe Rush Limbaugh truly is. An absolute monster, but that's neither here nor there. Let's keep listening here. So this guy listens to Rush Limbaugh, or listened, I guess. This guy listened to Rush Limbaugh. Go on.
The Tucker. But to tie it in to the Bible, to thread it into the gospel, to be able to pray at the end of a segment, it always seemed like there was a piece of that was needed, and that's what you provided. That's what Flashpoint provides. And I think where we are now, we have to realize this. Even these rallies is an experimental prototype of taking the herald's anointing, which is what a herald is. A herald announces something. It's kind of a merger of decreeing prophetically, informing publicly, and then proclaiming the gospel. And that's what you're going to see in these rallies. And something new will come out of it. A movement is going to happen in the United States. Being fed by media, being fed by the internet, we're going to begin to see in key places these meetings morphing. See, if you just have a gospel meeting, it's not going to affect the local political establishment. Will let you have your gospel meeting until they shut you down and make you stop having church.
Dude, he is obsessed with being persecuted. He is convinced there's somebody out to get him. Or, at the very least, he wants you to be convinced of that. I'm not even sure that he believes that. I am currently going for steering stick. What is it at this? Yeah, going for a spring and steering stick. That's what I'm shooting for right now. So I'm going to drop 5 Zonai charges in here. Hope for a steering stick and a... Let's see. Hang on. Hydrant. Steering stick. Nice. I don't know. Spring. Nice. Spring. Awesome. Got exactly what I was looking for. Now I'm looking for batteries, I believe. Just as many batteries as I can get my grubby little hands on. because batteries are eternally valuable. So some of these dispensers will dispense 5 items and others will dispense 4. I have a higher chance of getting more batteries if I go with the one that dispenses batteries but only dispenses 4 different items, 4 different types. So I'm going to the dispenser that has 4 items. Now, you only get items out of this if you drop Zonai charges in it, and you get those by defeating the guys in the Sky Islands, basically. Bosses on the Sky Islands, or just normal enemies of various sorts. So I'm going to head over here and snag myself a few batteries. Just drop some Zonai charges in here. This is a great game, guys. Oh my god, you need to play it. Okay, see a couple of batteries here. Let's see, big wheel, hydrant, battery. I haven't found a use for the hydrant yet. I don't know what it's for, but yeah. Let's see what I got going on now. So I have 4 batteries. That'll do. Okay. Yeah, I want to get to the yellow thing. I think I've already hit the red. And how many fairies do I have? Fairies are really hard to come by. I have 4. I'm good. Okay. Let's head back to this shrine. Ooh, and rockets are really, really useful, too. There's a limit to how decked out you can do something, though. You can't connect an unlimited number of things together, sadly.